Hey, Richie,
Yeah.
what you been listening to lately?
Yo, matter of fact, I have been spinning Moonchild by Kenneka Cook so much recently. It's like really groovy. Have you heard it?
No, tell me about it.
So it's kind of really eclectic in like all the best ways that I like at least. A little bit of jazz, a little bit of pop, funk, soul, R&B even. But like it's just really cohesive, and it's like she takes you on this journey from start to finish, where she creates this world where she's really influenced by just the inspiration of the moon and the celestialness, and she grounds it with just real life issues that we deal with: love, unrequited love, frustration with society, having a good day.
So, what's your favorite song on the album?
That's tough. First song I ever heard off the album was actually My Universe, and immediately I was just super into the bass. It's like so heavy, but it's kind of like a lighter song. Like it's like upbeat, catchy, it's bouncy, it's groovy. Another one of my favorite songs is actually how it ends with higher highs, lower lows, which seems like a perfect like just coming down after we went on this trip. There's a solo in it that is really beautiful, and just I don't know. She says higher highs, lower lows is all we know, and so it's off of the rails we go. When she said that, I felt that. Like I felt that. But then, of course, you got Moonchild, which is the title track of the album, and the harmonies are just so like smooth and rich, and the texture of her voice and how it's mixed, like everything about it is just like gorgeous. And it's like this really just dope ass ode to the moon, which like I mentioned before, she's real inspired by. And it's like I don't know how many other songs about the moon are like in publication or whatever, but this one has got to be the best.
What's the name of the album again? Moonchild?
Yeah, Moonchild by Kenneka Cook.
Okay. And where can I listen to it?
I listen to it on Spotify, but you can also find it on Apple Music, and she's got a Bandcamp too.
Awesome.
How are you doing, first of all?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I am really excited to talk to you because I am calling as a fan, like for real, for real. Let's talk about the fit. I put together an outfit to sort of embody Moonchild. The hair is inspired by the moon. I went for the blonde wig for like the glow. I went with the blue dress with the texture because it kind of reminded me of like water and waves, and how you talk about tides. I got like navy blue tights on to like go with the deep blue sea, and these I guess can kind of be like planets or little space rocks.
Yeah,
or
I can easily see that. Yeah.
So yeah, this is my Moonchild inspired fits.
Yeah, I'm glad we're like on the same page with the blue and the So I wore this. I got this like a few years ago, but it's like my favorite moon themed thing that I own. It's a Sailor Moon kimono. There's a giant moon crescent on the back. But
I like the lace on.
Thanks. But yeah, it's like my favorite like moon thing to go to.
I want to ask you like about your connection with the moon and with the cosmos. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Ever since I was like little, I would look up and be like, that is so cool. It's this giant glowing ball in the sky that I can look at and not go blind. Not like looking at the sun or something, but it's just like, and it changes all the time. And it's just like as I got older and learned more about the moon and what it meant spiritually, I was like, oh wow, that it makes sense. And like I was like, oh, I can connect with that, and just going through phases and waxing and waning.
Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about that spiritual connect. For me, like where it might seem a little abstract and everything. Like, what does that like mean like to you?
I guess it's like I can be shy sometimes, and so I can shy away if I'm not feeling up to being like out. I can shy away, and I can kind of relate to like the moon waning or like going darker or just disappearing for a bit. And then when the moon, when she feels like showing out, she shows up as the full moon. And I'm like, yeah, I can feel like sometimes I just feel like, I'm feeling myself. I'm out there. And I was like, oh, that like, I feel like I can relate to that a lot, you know?
Wow, yeah, I'm glad you explained that because I can relate to that a lot too, actually. I never thought of the moon like that. But there definitely is like a captivating aspect to look, especially a full moon, especially when it's like sitting low in the sky and it's like real big and orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on those occasions, it's not uncommon for me to call someone up and be like, yo, look at the moon like right now, There's a term I came across when I was like reading up on you, but also it's like something I've heard, but can you help me and just like break this down for me? All right.
Okay.
Celestial feminine energy.
Ooh. I guess that could be like a nice fancier way to say the divine feminine,
I
So
hear people say that too. What does that mean, or what does it mean to you? Like what?
to me, so I'm a huge believer in like macroism and microism, kind of like how like the universe, like a picture of the universe also looks like a picture of neurons in the brain. And so I feel like celestial feminine energy is just a grander scale of the energy that we hold within ourselves as feminine beings.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the best way to explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand from what I was able to like find online, produced by your friend Scott Lane, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And recorded at his crib studio.
Mm-hmm.
Were all those instruments played by him as well, or did y'all get instrumentalists to do the tracks?
We got instrumentalists to do. He did play guitar
Okay.
on a lot of them, but there were a lot of Richmond heavy hitters who were on the album, and I'm very grateful for them. It's a good number.
Okay.
Let me see. Devon Harris, Marcus Tinney, Kelly Strawbridge, Andrew Sis. That's a lot. Who else am I missing? I'm like going through.
I know you don't want to leave nobody out and everything.
Yeah. Russell Lacey was on there. Jared Poole on one of the tracks. He played mandolin. I think that's everybody. I hope that's everybody, but I think that's it.
It's just fascinating to me because, I also read that you don't, particularly play any instrument proper, like for real, like a guitar, piano, or anything like that. I've witnessed you live, like, doing your live looping things and like comping for yourself, which it's just really cool to witness, like in and of itself. It's just like kind of novel, let alone the fact that you are giving us like such interesting lyrics and like cool harmonies and stuff. So how was the like arrangements and orchestrations like put together? Because that right there is one of my favorite parts of the entire project.
So Scott and I sat down and we pretty much took what I did looping and kind of converted it into this full band sound. But each song is like different, like one song might be more poppy, one song is more jazz, so we just kind of sat there and was like, okay, this is cool. How do you want this song to sound with the band? How do you want it to sound fuller? What instruments do you want to be on the track?
And how did the track list come together? Were these like, I know it's your debut album, so it might have been songs you've been sitting on for years, or was it like a period of time where you were like, yo, we're going to like put it together? Like, I am interested in, because it has a nice arc to it and everything. So I'm curious about like, choosing the order.
A lot of the songs were just songs that I was doing on my looper for years, for like a few years before I started even recording. There's a couple covers. Bang Bang is the cover, and Kids Don't Stand a Chance are the two covers.
Okay.
Yeah. And some of the songs we've revamped that I originally written, and we just made them like they were cool, but it's just like we rearranged the lyrics just a little bit just to give it more of a a solid feel. That was it. We just kind of it wasn't really like a particular time I was like, yes, we need to do this. It was just kind of like, oh, this is cool. Let's try this. This is an older track. Let's play with this and see where it goes. Yeah.
Right on. What about like when you were actually in the recording process? Was that during like, a block set of time, or did it just kind of happen like song by song over,
We
over a while?
did it really fast, actually. I think we got it done in like maybe 3 months. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that was it. It happened so fast. I was like, okay, we're done. Dang, that it's kind of cool how fast it went, but yeah, I don't
Awesome.
know how to
Awesome.
explain it. It just kind of just rolled and worked. So we lucked out.
Was it difficult, like relinquishing some of that, control of like your songs over to, someone to help you, bring about the arrangement as we hear it on the record?
Um, it wasn't necessarily hard. It was different just because I wasn't used to it. I'd never really been in a studio where somebody's working with my music, but yeah, it was just different, and it was a learning experience that I appreciate so much. I think Sky did a great job. So
I guess if I did have to pick a song, this was a heavy contender because it is, your most popular song as far as I can tell off that album. I know you did like a Tiny Desk concert for it. You have a remix for it and everything. I'm still so in love with the original version, personally. Like, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. But some of your lyrics, you know how like when you listen to a song so much, but you don't necessarily know exactly what the artist is saying because you don't have the lyrics. So you kind of like fill in the gaps in your head. And I think I've done that for this song in particular because there are some words where if I had to like transcribe it, I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I guess, and that gives it like a whole context that I've been used to. But I am now curious to like set the record straight because I couldn't find your lyrics like posted anywhere.
So that particular song was actually written by Pete Curry. If you know him, he's a Richmond artist. And that's like I think the only 3 covers are that one, Bang Bang, and His Don't Stand a Chance. Pete wrote that song. And it's a great song. If you haven't heard his version of it, it's good.
I have not. So so it's already another recording of it.
Yeah, it's Pete's song.
Wow.
And I covered it. Yours
is always going to be the original in my mind. But it was so good. Okay, so that does. Okay, now I can go find Pete and ask him something.
Yes.
But please tell me this lyric here. Please don't ask me for advice. Don't ask me for advice. What is like right there being said?
What is the lyric?
Mm-hmm.
Or please don't ask me for advice on love.
On love.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Since now I know Pete wrote that particular song, what connection though do you have with the lyrics maybe in like your personal life? If that's not a good question.
I guess like I don't know. I guess it's like being transparent. Because the first lyric is like follow through with everything you do.
Mm-hmm. I like that line.
Yeah. Being transparent in a relationship, being honest. Because I feel like in order for a relationship to work, it has to be equal give and take. Mm-hmm. But with the lyrics of that song, it feels like somebody's giving way more than whoever they sing this to. And it's hurting them. And they want it to work, All I know is I'm afraid of dying without you. So obviously they're giving their all, but they feel like the other person isn't. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah, I never thought of it like that. I guess because there were some like other lyrics that I had to fill on my own. Whenever I hear that song, like, it's become one of those songs where if I'm in a particular mood, I'm like, all right, let me play this. Like, to me, I was kind of imagining like, I don't know, like it was being sung to a person who had maybe like rejected you in something. And like, I don't know why, but that's always kind of how I imagine these lyrics, like going, like it was being spoken to like the subject of an unrequited love or whatever. And you're just kind of like, yo, don't ask me because like, I tried. Or,
yeah, I can see that.
and you still ain't seeing me or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
your song, the practice. Yo, you you ever watch Class of 3000?
Yeah.
That was my show.
You take me to the bed.
I love that, and I still bump that soundtrack because it's on Spotify.
Yeah, no, that's a really good soundtrack. Yeah,
I'm glad you're familiar with it because the practice. I was like, yo, this reminds me of Class of 2000 for some reason. It made me happy because it was like really nostalgic. Like, you know, it's definitely like in your jazz bag right there and everything. And you know, I like how the drums are kind of giving this give and take, and I don't know, it just everything is so wonderful. I'm not wearing my glasses because I was trying to be cute.
me either. Oh my gosh, mine are right here. I
No. You know what? Look, who are we even flexing on? Like, who? Well, they saw me. So
Boom.
it's like hard to get on over this week, and they're never clean. Okay, let's just be ourselves. Great. I do have to point out that there are, of course, you had a lot of collaboration with the instrumentalists, you know, who brought the record to life, the album to life on each of the songs, but there are no features on this whole album.
Yeah, I don't.
And that's dope. Like, you know, no, I love a feature and everything, but it's like I just want to point out for, you know, whoever is watching this, and this is something I promote because I've been putting a lot of my friends on, or at least I've been, you know, talking about it. I don't know if they've been following through, but there are no features. And like, you know, I'm a big hip hop head, and you know, we talk about like, you know, how J. Cole, like, they had no features and he's like making platinum records and everything. And now I know you haven't sold as many records as J. Cole yet, but I think
Yes.
but the I think the important thing is like you created a body of work that like all from, you know, your own creativity. I think that's very, very impressive. This was one of my I know it was released in 2018, but for the albums that I listened to, like personally in 2022, this was one of my favorite albums that I listened to that entire year. So like it was on like my list of, in my personal mind, like, you know, year in review. Damn. That shit is impressive.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have anything else that we can look forward to as far as releases coming soon from you?
Yeah. So I am currently working on my second album. Yes. Yeah. You know, I'm just laying out right now what I want on there, what I want stuff to sound like. You know, just trying to brainstorm how I want to execute this. You know, how like what's going on in here? How do I make that come out the way I want it to?
Yeah. Well, however you did it the first time worked fabulously. I'm not saying do the same exact thing at all, but whatever instincts you were listening to and trusting during that process, like, please listen to those instincts. Give us some more of that beautiful music. Because, yeah, wow. Yeah, and it's been great. And look forward to talking to you soon and hearing some more from you.
Yeah. Thank you again for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Peace.
Yeah.